What's going on, Zach Pack? Welcome back, and if you're new here, a big hello to you. Be sure to join the Zach Pack today by pressing that big shiny red button. And today's video, ladies and gentlemen, I'm always gonna start with this. If you can tell by the title, we are looking at the top 5, well, my top 5 favorite underrated movies of Disney. Now, of course, there's so many great movies, and some of them just don't quite make the cut for one reason or another to be remembered by. That some people are like, is that Disney? And I'm like, yeah, that's Disney. Of course it's Disney. You know, you don't see DreamWorks making rememberable characters like that. Do you really? No. 1 minute. Do that. I'm supposed to do that beforehand, but I'm doing it today anyhow, in the video. It's not being edited out. I want you to see me brushing my beard. Anyhow, let's get on to it. There is 5 of these, and I want to get on to all 5. So, the first one is... So, coming in at number 5, we have Atlantis. Now, Atlantis was a great movie when I was a kid. I absolutely loved it. I remember having it on video, on VHS. Yes, I am that old to remember having a VHS player and VHS tapes. Nonetheless, I'm getting off topic. This movie was awesome. I loved it. By far one of my favourites that are underrated completely. And it didn't make my top 10 Disney movies, which I'll leave up in the top right. And that's a very old video, so don't laugh. But it didn't make that one because I wanted to do a separate video for these ones, and rightly so. That I want to say at the bottom of the list. It's not on the bottom of the list. It's just how I would watch them in an order. I would watch this one first because it is one of my favorites, and then I would move upwards onto my favorite underrated movies. So Atlantis was just such a good film when I was younger. Absolutely loved it. And the next one is just as good. So, okay, so moving on to number 4, we have Treasure Planet. Now, this movie, again, the same as Atlantis. I remember having this movie. I remember absolutely loving it. Just such a great story. And again, it's so underrated, and I don't know why. It was just one of those movies that just probably didn't make it as well as others in the box office. And at the time when I was younger, I didn't understand that. I was like, why is nothing here? Because I remember seeing certain Disney merchandise for a period of time in the Disney store, and then just nothing. It just seemed to just disappear. It was there one day. A couple of weeks after, it was gone, and it really confused me. It still kind of confuses me now that how this didn't do so well in the box office and things like that. But we can't change what happened, so we can always just remember them as underrated Disney movies, and this is one of my favorites. So moving on to number 3. Now, this one, I'm not sure. I'm going to guess. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. That many people don't know that this was actually a Disney movie. So, if you don't know what this is Into the Woods, and to me, this is an underrated. Even though it won like Best Motion Picture and Best Screenplay, I still don't think that many people know that it's a Disney movie, and therefore I'm going to class it as an underrated Disney movie. Now, Into the Woods was to bring all classic stories in, like classic fairy tales, into the woods and to make it into one big story. Here you have Anna Kendricks and I'm not sure who that. I don't know what that man's name is, but it's Prince Charming. As Cinderella. You've got the evil stepmother. You've got the evil queen. Not the evil queen. Like the witch from one of them. You have Little Red Riding Hood and the Big Bad Wolf. You've got the Baker's, the Baker's, the Bacon, the Baker's wife. You've got Rapunzel, and there's a couple else in there. Jack and the Beanstalk, and Jack and the Giant. Now, all of this was coming together. It made one giant story, and I absolutely love this. Not only for the story side of it, because it was a musical as well. I'm a little bit of a sucker for having a musical, and this was an absolutely fantastic Disney movie. I absolutely loved it, and it's not one that many people consider a Disney movie, which is why it's on this list. I mean, I know that it did so well, and it's very, very popular, but it didn't do popular in well of Disney eyes in terms of it being well known as a Disney movie. So that's why it's on this list. I love this movie. I really, really do. But we are going to move on to a classic one next. I'm sure all of you will agree is an absolute underrated movie. So let's get on to it. Yes, you heard it. The one and only Hercules, son of Zeus. This film, absolutely, I'm surprised it didn't do so well in the box office. I really am. This was a fantastic movie, and by far one of my favourites as a child, no doubt, hands down. I love not only Hercules and Phil, but I love Hades and Meg. I love all the characters. I really, really do. By far some of my favourite characters of a Disney movie, Marley, Lilo and Stitch, of course, of an underrated movie type situation. Just, oh my gosh, what characters, what a story. And I'm very, very surprised it didn't do better, like I said. Oh my gosh, I'm so very, very upset with the fact that it didn't get any more oomph at the box office, and that's a really stupid way to... Never mind, we're moving on, Hercules, yes, is at number 2, so can you guess what my number 1 is? Do you think you know me very well, or will I shock you? Let's find out. Here we are, my number 1 spot. Here, it goes to the one and only Emperor's New Groove, and oh my gosh, how can this not be my number 1? I love this movie, find it so, so comical. It's got 3 massive names in this movie. You got, as Kuzco, David Spade. If you don't know who David Spade is, he does a lot of movies with Adam Sandler and Kevin James. That's Kuzco. As I think he's called, is he called Paco or Patco, something like? I can't remember his name. Let me know down in the comments if you remember his name. But this guy here, where my mouse cursor is, if you can see that, that is John Goodman. So John Goodman is in there. If you don't know who John Goodman is, then you need to watch Monsters Inc. and keep an eye out for James P. Sullivan, because that is who that is. And of course we have Gronk, who is the one and only Patrick Warburton, one of my favourite actors. By far a hilarious guy, and he tries not to be, and that's just what makes him hilarious. And then of course you got Yzma as well, the most cunning and comical bad guy you can ever come across, and Gronk as well. Oh my gosh, just so many good moments from this movie. One of my favourites growing up that is, again, so underrated, and it's not fair. And I can understand why this one is underrated, because at the time DreamWorks came into play, and Katzenberg made The Road to El Dorado, and that absolutely smashed the box office, because that came out before, and then this came out a week after, I think. So just if DreamWorks didn't exist, this by far would be an absolute unit, and this would by far be right there with everyone's probably favorite top movie if it wasn't underrated. But not many people, I'm assuming not many people know about this one, purely because of it's been kept under wraps for quite a while, and now it's out there on my channel. So if you haven't seen any of these movies, I highly recommend them. I really do, especially this one, my number one, The Emperor's New Groove. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my top 5 underrated Disney movies. Now, that was by far not only, I mean, I want to say it wasn't hard, it was hard to do, but it wasn't, because it was kind of easy because I knew which ones I wanted and I knew which order I used to watch them as a child. Emperor's New Groove was by far always the one that I watched continuously, and I still do watch it occasionally every couple of years. I'm not, to be quite honest, I watched it last year. I'll probably watch it again this year, maybe. I don't know. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it is the end of the video. So if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. And if you didn't like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below what your favourite underrated movie is. And if I pronounce Paco's name right, who was played by John Goodman, please let me know if I did pronounce it right or I got his name right or completely missed everything about it. Be sure to join the Zack Pack today by pressing that big shiny red button and press that little ding-a-ling bell so you can stay up to date with new videos on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays, and live streams on Wednesdays. So I hope that you enjoyed it, and if you do join, you get a lot of perks. Yes, you do. You get a Discord server which is free to join. You can come chat to me and other Zack Pack members. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and of course Spotify for the official Zack Pack playlist. And we have the outro music down there for the outro as well. So if you want to check any of those out, please be sure to do so. And with that being said, until the next video, ladies and gentlemen, as always, stay classy, Zack Pack.